Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing issue 10 of the Fanhome release of Build the Star Trek Enterprise D. We haven't seen this for some time, have we? So I thought I'm going to get on this today and look. It's all laid out over here, ready to go. Now, I know we're going to be finishing the Cobra neck section off today, and we're going to be putting some more panels in today. Things start to get a little bit fiddly now because obviously we've got lots of wires. We're going to make sure that they go under the frame correctly and that they are perfectly smooth on the top, and I'm going to show you how to do that today. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, you will have to check it's available in your territory. I have put a link in the video description, and there's also that QR code on the screen. But without further ado, engage. Okay, so here's the issue 10 magazine, and it does give you an inventory list right at the start, and then it goes straight on to stage 35, and you see we're going to be attaching this side of the Cobra neck, and it looks like we're going to be putting one of these panels into place. We're actually putting some lifeboats and some windows in there as well. We do get to test that as well, and then that moves on to stage 36. Now I'll show you those stages when we come around to doing them, but what I will do is just show you the rest of the magazine, which looks like this. And you get 4 parts per magazine. So this is the issue 10 magazine. Okay, so if you remember last time we did this, which was quite a while ago, we've got the Cobra neck section here, and we had already put this side in. We're now going to be putting this side in here. So got to open up stage 35 parts. And it's pretty easy to see how this is going to go. This is actually going to be going onto this bit just here, but I am going to need to install the switch into this hole. Now the switch is just here. So it's going to go into the position there, and it's held in with BP screws from each side. Now we're not actually attaching this yet because obviously we've got this section to go in as well. So we can actually now just put all of that to one side. And I'm going to bring over my helping hands. Now, this does make putting the windows in a lot easier. If you do want to get some of these are in my Amazon store, and the link for that was at the start of this video. So, let's get this lined up. Basically, we've got this panel here, which is a metal panel. I'm going to cut the lifeboats from the sprue first. You don't want to cut them flush. If you have a look at these close up, you do have a little tiny pointed section on each side. And when we put them in, the red part is facing down. So get these in here. Now what I have been doing with these is just putting a little bit of insulating tape on the top of them just to help with some light block. Just like that. I will cut off the excess in a second, and then all I've got to do is put the windows in. Now I've got the windows on the sprues here, but I can click my fingers, and as you can see, they're all in place. So gently take this off of here. And I need panel U302, which we worked on in stage 33. Now we do have a new light set here. So I'm going to be putting this over the top of this panel here, but I am going to be putting this yellow and black light into there like that. So let me just line this up and get this into place. Just like that. It's going to be held in with 2 EM screws. Now, because I did put tape in this side, I can now show you how that looks from that side, and these aren't going to fall out because of that tape. What I will do is just cut off the excess of this tape. So that looks like that, and I can put that to one side. Okay, now I need the deck panel, which is labelled U303. I'm going to be installing this. Let's bring over the saucer section. That is looking like this at the moment. If you look on the top camera, this is actually going to be going into this section just here. It's going to be sitting in like that, so we're going to have a gap between these 2 sections. So hopefully one of these cameras will see this. I'm actually going to be putting this whole lead through this rectangular section here, but this yellow and black lead is going to be coming out of this section just here, and I'm going to be plugging that into the side just here. Turn this over, and it's going to go into position just like that there. It's held in with DP screws. So 2 of these, and that is how that's looking. And then while I've got it this way, this section that we just created here will be going next to it into the position just here. Now I need to sort out where all of these wires are going. So I'm pretty happy with everything here apart from this wire. So this wire here is going to need to go through this square here. And I'm going to continue looking. The wire here has got a gap to go through, so that one's okay. I think that looks good. I'm happy with the position that's in there. Okay, so just going to get that cable out of the way because the blue and red wire is going to go through the hole just here. So I'm going to get that in, but first I think I'm going to put this into place. So I need DP screws just into the two holes here first, just like we did last time. And then the rest is held in with BM screws. And there is quite a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6. Now the last screws to go in is EM screws. Once I can just push this bulb into position here, these are going to just hold that into place. Perfect. So when I turn this over, that is how that's looking. Nice and flush. We do get to test it. I have got the tester board here. Just plug some of these in and I'll just turn off the lights so you can see how that looks. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So stage 36, here's the magazine. As you see, I've got a reflector to put in on the Cobra neck, and we do have a lighting source here, which we're going to be connecting together. We do have the little docking alignment light. That's going to go in there just like that. And then it looks like we do get to fit that into place, just leaving the gap at the top. Then I'm going to do another panel just like that there. So I've just opened stage 36. Let's get all these parts out. Bring over this Cobra neck here. And on this reflector, the windows are actually built into it, which is quite handy. So this is just going to fit in just like that on the top camera. Now I'm holding this in with AP screws, but we are going to be putting some lights in. What I'm going to do is put the screws in lightly first. That way this part is not going to come out. See, it was only really a quarter turn just to keep those screws in. And I've got this smaller lead here, which has got a green and yellow wire. So the green and yellow is going to go at the bottom. Just like that. And then the red and black will be going on this side over here. And when we're happy with all of those in place, I then get to tighten this up. Now I do want to put some black tape that I got here just over this section to aid in light blocking. Perfect. And I've got one more plug to plug this into. So I'm going to need my tweezers to help me get this in here. Excellent, that's in position. I then have this alignment light. The side with a slope is going to be pointing down. So that's just put into the position just there. Keeping these wires out the top, I then get to put this into place. So on the top camera, we do have some lips to put in. So that one's going to go under there. Keep this wire out of the way. And I believe, just checking this now, that is perfectly where it's going to go. It's going to be held in with BM screws around these screws here, but these two are going to have AP screws. So I'm just putting one AP screw in first, just so I can check that I'm not pinching any wires on that side. I'm good. So I can then put the other one in here. Then I'll open the BM screws, and these are going to go into the positions around here. These are going into metal, so I am putting these in oil. So again, if I turn that on, it all lights up, as you can see, and we have got the blinking on both sides now. So I think I can do these metal bits without putting it into the helping hands. I'm going to have a go. We'll find out in a second. I'm going to be putting the windows just into here. So once again, there we go. They're all in place like that. Magic. I've got this reflector to put in. And again, the way I put reflectors in is I put them in just over where they're going to go there. Now they're held in with DM screws each side. So I will put the DM screws in, but just once again, just a quarter turn. So they're very, very loose. Just enough to hold that panel in. And the reason for that is because I've got another lead here, which is going to have lights in. So the green and yellow side is going to go in this side. And then the red and black, is it? I hope it is. Is going the other side. I can then tighten all of these screws up. And there we go. That is how that panel looks. Just got to be putting a transporter emitter pad on here. So peel off the adhesive on the back and put that into position there. And then once again, we can test this. So I'll just plug this into the board here. As you can see, if I turn the lights out, that's how that looks. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 37, as you can see, we're going to be doing a big panel now, putting that in with the lights and testing it. Then it looks like we're putting the panel onto the source section. So that's what we're going to be doing in this stage. Stage 37's here, and as you can see, when we've got lots of windows to do, you just know that I'm going to need to use my Q powers to get that in. Now, even though we've got the other section of the Cobra neck here, we're not actually using that, so I can keep that to one side. What I am going to do, though, is load this up into my helping hands, and I'm going to get all the windows into place. Oh, and as you can see, they're all done. Oh, I love my powers. So take this off ever so gently, put this down here, and I'm going to be putting this aside over the top. Obviously I've already put the wire in this one this time because it's a lot more delicate. Holding that in with 3 BP screws, and that looks perfect. Show you from this side, that's how that's looking. Now I do get to test this again, so as you can see, that's how that's looking. Okay, let's bring the saucer section over. Now if I lay this down, hopefully you can see on one of these cameras, this is the left side of the circuit board here. I'm going to be putting this into this side, and you see how we've got this yellow LED already here? That's what's going to be going into the other side of this section here. So I want to take this into this side here, leaving this yellow and green LED free, probably best on the top camera. But this one, if I feed it through there, I just need to get it into this side of that reflector. Now, putting this into position now, bending that wire up there so it can fit flush in here. I'm going to be holding this in. So just move these out of the way, just like that. Putting them in with DP screws. That's one in there. And one in this side. So if I turn that over now, that is how that's looking. That's all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of that pack, once again, it's very similar. We're doing another panel and putting this stage in. But we are going to be plugging some of these into the circuit board, and we are going to be putting another panel in here. Quite a big stage, this one, by the look of it. And then we're putting the reflector into this part of the Cobra neck that we had in the last stage. So let's do that. Once again, get my helping hands over here. I just clamp this into position, and I'll click my fingers, and we'll get all of these into place. There we go. They're all in. Gently take this off. Place it down there. And once again, I've got a reflector to put over here. I have got a light to put in. What you tend to find is if you put the light in, it's going to go in this way here. As long as these are out just a touch, it's going to help that to hold itself into place there, like that. So then you can put this over the top. Perfect. And secure in with BP screws. So that's looking like that. Once again, we do get to check. There we go, and that's looking like that. Bring over the saucer. Okay, so what we're going to do, taking the panel that we just had, I'm going to be putting this through this rectangle just here, but the yellow part here is going to go over the top of this bracket and then underneath like that. So this is how that's going. We do want this to be under both panels like that. So there you go, that's how that looks. Line this up into position here, just like that. It's going to be held in with DP screws. Here's the other one going in here. And then again, we can look at that and see how that fits. Perfect. Looking good. So with what we just put in here, we should have a spare lead looking like that. But the two leads that I've got here are going to be following the route up here, and they're going to plug into the two plugs that we've got here. So let's get these in. That's good. And then I'm just going to use some cable ties to keep these together. Just snip off the excess there. I'm only using a couple of these. It does help you keep control of all these wires, you see. That's looking good. So, next panel I need is panel 15, looking like that. That's going to go next to this. Quite simply, this is just going to be going through the large hole like that. Bring both the cables through, but this one here is going to go on top and then through. So this is going to be going onto this side over here. Just get that in. Perfect. Push it tight. Push this up just a touch so I can massage this into position. And then once again on this one, we do have a little gap just in this section that we can put this wire. And once again, held in with DP screws. Now you may be thinking, Wayne, isn't that lifting the panel up? Because obviously it's underneath this bar. Well, as you can see, there's actually a gap under there, so that can move. But putting that there, that is how that looks. Excellent. I can put this whole saucer section to one side now and bring over the cobra neck that we had in the last stage. I'm going to be putting a panel in this. So this panel is just going to go over these points here. So it looks just like that from that side. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in this pack. You know, the instructions are really good at telling you where the cable's going. Believe me, if you trust the instructions with the cables, you shouldn't have too many kinks and too many panels that are lying not flat, say the least. But it's nice to end on that stage. I'm guessing in the next pack we are actually going to be fitting that, but we haven't seen this for some time, so I thought let's do an Enterprise D on the channel. So that was pack 10. Pack 11's coming soon. You want to check if this is available in your territory, you can look in the video description or that QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.